The Gerber Strongarm is an excellent utility knife, but I believe we may have just found a better alternative with the introduction of the DEMKO Knives Armiger series of fixed blade. What the? Who set me up with the Armiger 2 to introduce this video? This is not the right tool. Cut. Man, I don't know what's going on with the production crew today. It's amateur hour around here. But truly, the Armiger 4 is stacked to the teeth with potential capability, and I'm really looking forward to breaking it down because it has very similar lines to the Gerber Strongarm. It's just a little bit more compact. We'll see how that plays into its performance. We will be discussing its little brother here, and the fact that this knife comes in at $75, about what the Gerber Strongarm is currently running for, but you're going to get 80 CRV2 steel. We'll see how that performs, as well as several different blade options, including this clip point. You can get tanto, you can get spear point, you can get full serrated. There's a lot going on with this tool and its micro brother, and I'm also going to run in the DEMKO free rein for some comparison as well. So we have an action-packed to the gills video to break down with you guys today. I'm so glad you've joined me. I'm Aaron. This is Gideon's Tactical, and let's dive right in with just the blade and its powder-coated 80 CRV2 steel. I have now used 80 CRV2 on several blades. I love it. It's a great high-carbon steel. It's going to be tougher than 1095, and from my experience, holds its edge a little bit better. It's not mind-blowingly better, but you'll notice a difference. Now, the blade length is 4 1/8 inches overall blade length. You are going to be getting a stock thickness that is full tang all the way through those rubberized handles of 0.15, so just a hair under 5/32, which means it is going to be thinner with arguably a more durable steel. Even though the Gerber Strongarm is extremely durable and thicker, it's got a thicker stock. So arguably this should be a better slicing blade. So let's just see how the edge factory performed and then how it held up once we're all done with that testing. Unmolested blade. There we go. Nice and smooth, so we'll see how that 80 CRV2 holds up. So we gotta kick things off with durability. How does it perform with those 5 strikes into a 2x4 with some lateral torquing? Tip performed very well for that, and then that lateral clamping between two 2x4s, putting all my pressure on it, seeing how it flexes, and does it either snap or does it bend and not spring back, which it should do, and it has done without any issue, which you would expect out of 80 CRV2. Now, this particular blade has a high flat grind, and it does exactly what you would want it to, particularly with that thickness. So you're going to be able to get a ton of utility done with the blade, being able to use it all against a lot of man-made materials, rubber, cordage, all that type of stuff, as well as cardboard. But then what I found, which I was really pleased with, particularly with this clip design, is that the clip is flat. It's got a flat upper, so it's actually worked rather well for its style as kind of a general utility knife, as a dedicated compact, woods knife. I could use it in if I needed to. It's not designed for that, but the blade really performed well for that. Excellent fine feather sticks if I needed to, and I can get right up on that tip and use my thumb for pressure to really, do a notch if I needed to or something like that. 90-degree spine, so it will throw sparks and get a fire going for you if you needed to. And excellent durability with the harder batoning, side splitting, just really cranking on the thing, making sure that it would hold up. And coming back to the paper test. Okay, after all that work, let's see how the 80 CRV2 holds up. Nice. Obviously not quite as sharp, but I mean, it's still doing some nice thin ribbons. It's not snagging anywhere, from what I can tell. Good. Now, I will be addressing the Gerber Strongarm a little later in the video and how it really truly stacks up compared to that, but I want to dive in for just a moment and more just kind of concept of the Armiger 4 versus the DEMKO free rein. Now, this is the MagnaCut USA made version. Another batch is coming, I believe, by the end of the year. You can get the AUS 10 version for about 130 bucks. Now, this is obviously a much larger blade, and it's definitely designed more as a belt carry, compact survival, woodscraft, camping knife. So the armiger is significantly lighter at 4.4 ounces and about 3 ounces more with the sheath. I mean, this is a lightweight blade. I have pocket knives that I regularly carry that weigh more than the Armiger 4. This is definitely, I can't remember, like 7 ounces, I think. So this would be a better choice if you're looking for just a belt carry camp knife. That is where the free rein really sits, and it is better designed for that. The Armiger, compared to it, is not only going to be obviously more inexpensive, but is more of either like a light duty utility, possibly fixed blade EDC, and or compact self-defense tool, depending on the blade shape and how to handle a blade. So that's just something to kind of consider when you're looking at the free rein potentially compared to the Armiger 4. And just a quick reminder that throughout this video, I will have links in the description box below this video to all the items that we're talking about here. So if it is time for you to pull the trigger on a piece of gear and equipment, always appreciate it when you use those links provided to you below. And if you're enjoying this type of content, I'd invite you to consider hitting that like button and to subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new gear and equipment videos, helping you guys determine for yourself. The goal with every video is so that you can go, is this the right piece of equipment for me, to then go and be equipped and prepared for whatever life throws your way on your adventures as you're enjoying life. And that is my hope with every single video. And so thank you for being a regular part here at Gideon's Tactical. How about this little guy? This little guy right here, the Armiger 2. Now both of these knives, the 4 and the 2, are made in Taiwan, which is excellent. DEMKO knives are, a lot of them are made over there, and they use excellent, quality control. Fit and finish is always there. Now this does have a 90-degree spine. You're gonna be looking at basically like a 2-inch, maybe it's even 1.9, I can't remember, overall blade length. I believe all of them, this clip point version is full flat. I believe they're all full flat. And you got lots of different blade shapes. Some I do believe are serrated. And you are gonna be getting it with, I wanna make sure I get it right here, 4034 SS steel, which is basically in the family of 420HC. So it's definitely a budget stainless steel. I've only used it on like one other knife, and I've kind of had like mixed results. I mean, it's a $20 blade, so I don't really know what exactly all that you're expecting out of it. Let's do a paper test real quick and just see what capability this might have. Go, fresh blade. Ugh. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's pretty toothy already. Not super impressed with that factory edge. It's okay, but I gotta kind of get through it. I mean, it bites then catches the skin, but a little blade like this should just be like, yeah, it definitely is not super impressive. Now, even though I wasn't very impressed with that paper test, let's go ahead and kind of keep using it here. And obviously stabbing, it held up the way it should. Get some crazy torque on it and snap right back into place the way it should, not bent. And that was definitely something with how thin this is. I was making sure it wasn't going to snap or bend and not flex back. So it flexed back as it should. And I was surprised that it actually sliced the cardboard well. I was expecting it just to bind up and kind of blah, but it did really well with that. Paracord you could do if you're really going to be doing much else. It's you don't get the leverage really that you need for piercing. I don't know, it's just not quite there for hard pressing cuts like through, hemp rope, different things like that. You're just not gonna get the grip that you would need to actually put the force the knife could potentially handle. So, I mean, it's like opening packaging, slicing some cardboard and some like cordage. That's about all, in my opinion, you're gonna really truly be able to do with this. Now, I mean, it costs 20 bucks. It's kind of this novelty thing, and it weighs 0.8 ounces. It weighs less than 1 ounce. Eat that, Benchmade. And your bug out and mini bug out series, this thing weighs under a freaking ounce. So when then like an ounce and a half, maybe 2 ounces with its little polymer sheath that we'll get to here in just a moment. So, I mean, it's there. Now what about the sheaths, the pants of a fixed blade? If they're gonna do any type of walking around, they gotta be riding in a sheath. Now on our little guy here, we got that polymer, we got a few little lashing points. It's gonna come with this little key ring and like key attachment, basically. I mean, if you wanted to wear this as a neck knife, you could throw it on your key ring. I mean, that'd be a pretty big, key ring. So not sure exactly how you're going to carry this. Again, for me personally, it is just basically a novelty. It's fun. My boys like messing around with it. It's kind of like a conversation starter. Now, you got 2 little tension points right in there, so it is ambidextrous. You can snap it in either way. Good little push off there. And I mean, it ain't coming out. but it's easy to deploy if necessary. Now the larger number 4 is gonna have the same style of sheath as on the Free Reign series. It will be a smaller profile, but it is a pretty large profile for the size of the knife, and we'll kind of talk about that in a moment. So there's a little bit of a double-edged sword there. Now there's some absolute beauty and ingenuity in this sheath design, in that it has a nylon core. The black portion right here is nylon, not glass reinforced nylon, meaning it is specifically designed to not dull the edge on your knife if it ever comes in contact with the internals of the sheath. That is really smart and just shows you the attention to detail that Andrew Demko shows in his designs. Then we have this frame on the outside here. It'll match whatever colored, sheath, or excuse me, handle you have. And you can unscrew it and completely take it apart and actually clean out the sheath if that's something that you need to do. Now I've, at this point in time, tested almost 1,000 fixed blades, and I think I've had to like wash out a Kydex sheath like one time ever in all of my experiences through the backcountry of the Rocky Mountains. So, I mean, it's a nice feature to have, I guess. I don't run into that problem very often. I'd love to know, leave a comment below if that's something that you see a lot of value in, or you're like, I've never had to deal with that. So it is disassemblable completely and easy to clean out. It is completely ambidextrous, so that's great. And it's got these little grip points, again, 4 of them on this one. So you can flip it. Let's see how the tension is. Yeah, I mean, it ain't coming out. There's a little bit of rattle, but it's relatively quiet, particularly for like a production, polymer sheath. You can remove the nylon strap. It's got the button with Velcro, large belt loop, an extra handle strap that obviously what I just showed you, not necessary. I mean, if you pull it out, it actually grabs the handle, so you'll never, if you do it, you'll never have the blade exposed, so that's pretty cool. So for general belt carry, I think it's totally fine. I've done it a bunch, works great, but because it is a more compact fixed blade, and I do know, I believe it's a number 3 ulti-clip will actually fit through this, and certain blade tech locks you might be able to run through, molly locks, different things like that. I think the knife is actually better suited for an ulti-clip than the nylon strap. That's how I'm going to modify it. I'm going to take this off, I'm going to do an ulti-clip and either carry it in my pocket or carry it like at the 4 o'clock waistband position. Because it's relatively thin, compact, and lightweight, that would probably be the alternative way I would carry it, and it'd been dope to have this come with an ulti-clip as well as the nylon strap. Maybe we'll see that on the Demko website, an option to get both the nylon strap and an ulti-clip included. Andrew, I hope you're listening. And leave a comment, let me know which way you think you would carry this style of knife more frequently, on the nylon strap on your belt in a dangler, or with an ulti-clip tighter to your body. Now, what about these thermoplastic rubberized handles? How are the ergos, the comfort level on these 2 blades? Well, with our little number 2 right here, he's number 2. This guy is going to be 2.5 inches overall handle length. Now, you're going to get a top and bottom guard there. Pretty girthy right there, not too bad. It's going to have a very similar profile to its big brother. It's got full tang. Goes all the way right around the lanyard hole. So you're not going to see much flexing in that portion. Obviously, when I grip it, I mean, this is a 3-fingered little tool right there. I mean, sure, could I grab it and I mean, I guess. Now on the number 4, we have that same material, and you can see it's got like a cool, I don't know, pattern to it almost, and it is grippy. I mean, it feels great and tactile. Sweat, gunk that you might get on this, you're not going to lose traction. So, I mean, heavy duty traction without it being overly tactile. Some knives, even the Gerber Strongarm, can have a lot of like diamond points that, depending on how long you're cutting with and what you're doing, can be somewhat aggressive. This is super tactile, but not, I don't know, it's just like not slick. I don't know how to describe it. Now we have a little bit of jimping points right there and right there, and you're not going to get any underneath. Now the handle overall is going to be about 4.5 inches. Maximum thickness right here is 0.6, like 1. So that's a good girth, and over 1 inch in diameter right there. The contouring internals from the guard to where this little bird beak ends, so that's actually where your hand is going to go, is 3.75, which fits my large size hands. You can see there, plenty of real estate on that back end pommel. We even have that exposed tang. You can do a non-lethal strike if you had to. Now in most grips, like how I'm holding it right here, this feels really good. It's full, For this size, it does exactly what I want. Didn't create any hot spots whatsoever. The guard is going to really protect your hand for stabbing or reverse grips, but also in just general utility hammer grip. It's also going to lock you in. Now, only when I put my thumb on the internals of that guard does the knife start to feel a little bit short in the hand. It's going to kind of go into that position. I haven't really held it in this position at all. I would just, even if I was stabbing, I would probably hold it like that, or I would again hold it in this, and then it feels totally fine. So I haven't put my thumb like that really for any reason. Now, what I really like when there's a double guard like this, as long as it's relatively short, which this is, and it's rubberized, I can easily get over that. It contours my thumb and actually gives like a little comfort shelf, and then I can easily, you know, get on it, and then I could do feather sticks easily. I mean, if I had to use this as a field knife and I did have to get a fire going, even though that wouldn't be what you would be doing in an evasion situation, you could do it. Or if you are going to use this as kind of your do everything tool and you're going to go hiking and backpacking with it, then because of its lightweight capability, you're going to be able to get up on that, and I could easily get like feather sticks done and more like controllable cuts. There was never a point where I was like, man, I feel like I'm holding a dagger and I don't like using this. The ergonomics for general utility, more self-defense roles, but also more outdoor, now it's not a bushcraft knife, but outdoorsy tasks, that's where the free rein would make more sense. It absolutely can get those tasks done. So where do I sit with this whole Armiger series? Well, for the Armiger 2, it's cute. And if you have 20 bucks to burn and you want to get yourself a DEMKO and that's all you got, well, then now you got yourself a DEMKO. Is it going to be, for me, any sort of like usable tool? No, it's not going in any sort of survival kit, EDC kit. I wouldn't be picking up again unless it was like for a stocking stuffer or a gag gift. Now, on the flip side, to the Armiger 4, I want to address the Strongarm argument. If you already own a Gerber Strongarm and you're happy with its capabilities and performance, there's really no need to go get the Armiger 4. They're very similar in profile and in their capabilities and what you're going to probably do with the tools. But if you do not own either and you're trying to weigh about $75 for which one, for me, it would be an easy recommendation. We're hanging out around the campfire and you're like, dude, I'm thinking about the Gerber Strongarm, but I'm also thinking about the Armiger 4. What would you do? I would, without even thinking, go with the Armiger 4 because I way prefer the performance and capability of the 88 CRV2. It is going to be thinner, so it will be a little bit slicier. It's more compact, meaning it will actually be more usable in more scenarios. And the only two things that the Gerber Strongarm is really giving you at relatively the same cost is more modularity on the sheath if you are going to be attaching it to backpacks and PALS webbing. And with 7+ years being on the market, it has a longer track record of reliability. Those are really the only two things that I see the Strongarm bringing to the table when you compare it to the Armiger, if you don't own either. Now, I would love to see this knife, same exact handle dimensions, being brought into 3 inches for those of you who want to carry this as more of a like concealed EDC. I think it would absolutely, everything exactly the same, just bring it to 3 inches for those of you who need that more for legal reasons. And I would love to see an enlarged 5-inch version with a slightly thicker, larger handle and having everything the same. And if Andrew DEMKO can create that and keep the price for all of those under $100 with the same material, same sheath, that would, I think that would be an epic series for people to choose from. And I think there would be a level of capability and performance that would be almost unmatched in the industry right now, from value, you know, to what you get. So that's me, guys. That's my mileage. Your mileage may vary, and I look forward to seeing the long-term performance of these knives as they become more and more accessible and become more and more a staple, I believe, in the knife world. So leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts and your take on the Armiger series. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below as well. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for spending your time with me today. Check out the other video popping up. If you haven't yet subscribed, I invite you to do so. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.